Yo guys, Jonathan here. 2018 has been an amazing year for tech, and hands down, one of my favorite releases is the 2018 iPad Pro. I've been working furiously on the in-depth, full-length monster review, which is dropping tomorrow morning, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But today, I'm gonna give you a little taste. More than likely, in every iPad video you've watched, there's been a statement echoed throughout. It's fast, it's powerful, it's overall really good, but what holds it back is that you can't put macOS on it. But what if you could? So yeah, this is the iPad Pro being used wirelessly as a display for the 2018 Mac Mini. The touchscreen works, the Apple Pencil works, and I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this hit the internet this week, my immediate reaction was, "It's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing!" Now, while this may seem like magic, all this is actually happening thanks to this little guy, the Luna Display by AstroPad. So what it is this tiny little Compaq adapter that was initially supposed to be plugged into your MacBook Pro or your iMac and then use your iPad as a secondary display. Naturally, they were like, what if this works with the Mac Mini? And oh my God, it works. Now, in addition to USB-C, it also comes in a DisplayPort version, and I wanna stress that you must use this with a native port on your computer. You cannot use it with a dongle or adapter, and it only works on Mac. Sorry, PC boys. Without getting too technical, essentially how it works is through Wi-Fi. So both the iPad Pro and the Mac Mini must be connected to the same network, and I will emphasize that you must have a really solid Wi-Fi connection or forget about it. What I really like is the customization. You can orientate it as your right screen, as your left screen, and I was actually surprised at how well and how smooth the software experience was. So when I set this up last night, my mind was actually blown. And I'm not sure if I've yet recovered. Like, I was running around, spinning on chairs because I was that excited. It's one thing to have your iPad as a secondary display, but to have touchscreen functionality, to grab that Apple Pencil, press Safari, and see it work. Now, kind of diving back to reality for a second, because as awesome as this is, as well as it works, honestly, what surprised me most with this was the lack of lag. Like, it's almost instantaneous, but really, I would say don't go out and buy an iPad Pro just to use as a monitor for your Mac Mini. If you happen to have both, then it makes sense because the adapter itself is relatively inexpensive. Now, smaller details like audio, from what I can tell, there doesn't appear to be a way to get that to come through the iPad Pro. It comes through the Mac Mini. What more than likely makes sense though is you're going to use Bluetooth headphones or AirPods or Bluetooth speaker, or in this case, the HomePod actually works surprisingly well. What's also really awesome is you have a handful of setup options. So you can go the traditional route of a keyboard, a trackpad, or a mouse, Matthew Moniz. Or what's crazy cool is you can even use the iPad Pro keyboard. The mind-blowing just doesn't stop. I do also want to mention and stress that while you're initially setting this up, you need some sort of external display. So again, don't just buy these two together and expect them to work out of the box. Once you get this set up and going though, you can totally use it without that display, just the Mac Mini, just the iPad Pro, but there are a couple caveats. One, you gotta use it without a password, or two, you gotta be really good at typing in that password without seeing what you're doing. Again, the biggest factor in this entire thing is going to be your Wi-Fi connection. If it's bad, it is going to be a horrendous, laggy experience, but if it's good, it is crazy how well it works. So in a nutshell, it works way better than I ever could have imagined, and also kind of gives us a sneak peek of what if macOS came to iPad. While I wouldn't hold my breath for that to happen, what excited me the most with this whole concept is the idea of Final Cut Pro on the iPad. That is absolutely the thing I'm going to dive into next. If you guys want to see a detailed video on that, let me know by smashing that like button. Thank you guys very much for watching. Again, the full in-depth monster iPad Pro review is dropping tomorrow morning. This is Jonathan, and I will catch you guys later. My lips are frozen.